Hello, my name is Amber Williams. I started coming here with my parents maybe 6 years ago, my senior year of high school. And so I've been away at school, and I actually just got my master's in social work. And so now I'm back at home with my parents, which was not an ideal situation for me. I was running from North Carolina. That was the one place that I was trying to leave after I graduated. I did not want to come back home, but this is where God wanted me, and He is just doing such a great work in my life right now. Most of my life, I have been struggling with fear. I've always been fearful of people and talking to people and interacting with people, and afraid of what people would think of me. I always struggled with insecurities, the devil it just seems like my whole life, it was just lie after lie after lie after lie that he was feeding me into my ears, telling me that I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm insignificant, people don't see me, that I would never do great things. And I would just listen to those lies despite what my family would say and my friends would say, and it was just he was just attack after attack after attack. And it's finally, I feel like I'm breaking free of just the stronghold that the devil has tried to have on me, and I'm overcoming my fear. And maybe 2 weeks ago, I came to this turning point in my life where God was like, Amber, if you don't overcome your fear, you're never going to be able to do all these things that I've called you to do. And I just began to realize that just everything that I have been going through and struggle with, that really it's not about me. God allowed me to go through these things, and He allowed the enemy to mess with me for so long because He knew how glorious it would be on the other side when I came out, and He knew how I would be able to minister to other people who may be going through the same thing. And so as I came to this turning point, I remember it was on a Thursday, and earlier that day, I was at Panera Bread, and God began speaking to me, and I began writing it down, and I just been praying that God would just change me, because I didn't want to be fearful, and I've been very lonely and just feeling forgotten, because I don't really have very many friends here. All my friends from school are somewhere else, and so I just been praying God, help me to overcome my fear, send me a friend, and so God began speaking to me and was like, Amber, I'm getting ready to change your life. I'm getting ready to do that work in you, and you're not forgotten. I have not forgotten about you, and I see your loneliness and your longing heart, and I hear your prayers, this prayer that you've been praying for a friend, and I'm getting ready to send you that friend. And I said, well, okay, God, and closed my little book, and I'm like, well, was that really from God? Maybe it was just me, I don't know. And so that night, my parents finally sat down and talked to me, and were like, Amber, you can't go on like this. You have to overcome your fears. You have to step out. You have to do something. And in that night, I remember just crying out to God, change me. I don't want to be this way. Change me, God. And it was just in that moment, that's when He showed me, you have to overcome this to be able to do what I've called you to do. And I just had the support of my parents, and so they began really helping me. And even that next day, as I began taking steps and facing some of my fears, I realized that there was nothing to be afraid of. It was all just a smoke screen. There's nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be afraid of. And so that God just really began to open my eyes. And then that Sunday at church, the morning started out bad. We got to church late, and we usually always sit down in the front, and it was just my mom and I that week. And so we had to sit over there in the back, and I was just I was just not happy, and there was kids over there who were being disruptive, and I'm just this is not a good day. But my mom and I ended up sitting next to this other woman and her daughter. And so the woman began to tell my mom how her daughter had been praying that God would send her a Christian friend, because her daughter had been lonely, and her daughter was shy and had these fears and everything. And so we ended up exchanging numbers. But before I called her that evening, before I left church, I came up and just got prayer for my fear. And the lady that I prayed with, I think her name was Jackie, And I was beginning to tell her how I was trying to overcome my fear, and she was like, well, I understand what you're going through, because, you know, there was one time where I was too fearful to stand up here and pray for people. And so she knew what I was going through. And so, I mean, that was God, the person that I would pray with, that she knew what I was going through. But that night when I called this new friend, we began talking, and we realized that we had so much in common. Like, everything was like, wow, we have a lot in common. We had similar struggles. And so, like, even since then, like, I've really been able to encourage her, and we've been able to encourage each other. And it was just amazing how God answered both of our prayers in that one instance. Amen. So God is just really doing a work, and he's really moving, and I just feel so blessed. And I know now that I'm not forgotten. And so today I'm going to be baptized. I got baptized when I was 8 years old, but I don't think I really understood the meaning of it. But today I'm being baptized, and God showed me that, you know, as you're being baptized, you're bearing your old ways. And I know that God has had a covering over me all these years and my shyness, and it's like now he's ridding me of that. I'm burying those old ways. I'm burying that fear. So today is God is just amazing. So keep praying, keep believing, and don't lose the faith. Sorry for talking so long.
Aren't you glad she has something to testify about?
Amen.
She has something to testify about.
Amen.
God has not given her a spirit of fear, but a power and love and a sound mind.
Amen.
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 Now, get on the Facebook today and share it for 3 hours. Amen. Praise the Lord.
Hi, my name is Yukima Payne. I'm from the Virgin Islands.